Unsyndicated presents Off the Air with Sean Baligian.
What is up? How you doing? Everything well? Fantastic then. Monday night, he is Blake, of course, 760 WJR, Mitch Album Show, and Sports Rap. I am Sean Baligian. How are you, buddy? It's been a few days. I missed my friend Blake.
I know. I was just thinking that when you started. I'm like, I feel like it's been like weeks since we did this, and it's been what, since last Wednesday?
Yeah, something like that.
Time flies, man.
Yeah.
I missed you.
Does it ever? Does it ever? Lots of stuff to get into tonight. Obviously, I just tweeted something out. If you're watching on Twitter, hi, how you doing? Thanks. I just tweeted something out. We're going to be talking about the Jared Goff contract. Look at my little thing. You know how it says Blake's Twitter account? Look at. I just want everybody to know that I was wrong about Jared Goff. I'm going to keep saying it. I was wrong about Jared Goff. Like, I have no other way to say that. Now, I was having a conversation with my buddy Stick from Woodward Sports, and he and I had a very raucous argument 3 years ago. And I told him the exact same thing that I did then, Blake, and I don't know if you feel the same way. You tell me. The trade had to happen. No doubt about it. Okay. And the Lions getting the 2 first-rounders, that was the key to it. Make no mistake about it. Okay. But at the time, Jared Goff was an incredibly broken quarterback. He was struggling mightily. And I think one of the issues that I have with a lot of people in this town, and I wasn't directing that at you, Stick, but a lot of people tell you that you aren't seeing what you saw. We see it all the time. I mean, I could sit here and bore you with details of, I know I give you the business. Brady Hoke, all right? I mean, people very late into his tenure were still believing against, everything. And it's Brady Hoke because it's Michigan. And I think Al Avila falls in that category. Everybody and their brother now says the same thing about Al Avila, okay? It wasn't cool to be saying things like that in, say, circa 2019. So my issue at the time with Jared Goff is, let's say what he is. He was a broken quarterback. He was a guy that made 10,000 turnovers. I mean, he really was a turnover machine if you look at it, his interceptions and his fumbles, et cetera, et cetera. And in his first year with the Lions, he struggled a lot, okay? So I stand by that. That happened. I can't say, nope, he didn't. What he did do, and where I can say as I was wrong, was his resurrection. It is unbelievable. And I think the easy thing is to say, well, they protected him, and you have to give a lot of credit to the OC and the pieces around him. Well, sure, but you also have to credit Jared Goff. And that's where I was wrong. I never thought that Jared Goff would be the man when the Lions were good. Never. Openly admit it. Never in a million years. Didn't. What the Lions, and now do you agree with that? Do you agree with that sentiment? That like, to me, it's like, I'm not going to own saying what I said about the guy 3 years ago. He was a struggling quarterback.
Yeah.
He was a turnover machine. He was broken. Okay. What I have to own, and what every idiot has to own, because then I'm becoming what I detest. If you can't acknowledge that he's resurrected himself the last couple of years, you aren't paying attention. You just aren't paying attention.
I also, though, do think it is fair to like have the devil's advocate argument and say, like, he isn't like the most important cog to that offense, as weird as it is. Like
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get
like
what I get what
I
you're saying.
and I think he has proven to be the starting quarterback of the Detroit Lions, and he is someone that I don't think, obviously now they're not looking to move on from anytime soon. But I also think it's fair to be like critical of him and critical of his play still, like 100%. I don't think that goes away just because he got paid.
I think he deserves all the roses that have been coming his way, and I think he deserves that contract beyond a shadow of a doubt. Okay, but like I need to stress this adamantly. All right, I can't take back what I was saying about him 3 years
Yeah.
ago because it happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there are people that love to pretend that something didn't happen. I mean, that's just, and it's a sports fan. I get it. Okay. He was a struggling, broken quarterback who, even in his first year with the Lions, you were like, ooh, you know, and at times he sees ghosts still.
Yeah.
You and I were talking about that a lot last year with our mutual friend, Lomas Brown. But I'll tell you what, when that guy has time with the weapons at his disposal, you got to give him his roses. Blake, this was a no-brainer. They had to give him that contract. They had
And
to.
his style and play fits perfectly with what they want to do.
Yeah.
It fits perfect. Play action, like not a whole bunch of shot plays because he's, first of all, he's not even capable of those like deep downfield throws like other guys are. But he's gonna stay in time, he's gonna be in rhythm, and it's exactly what they want. It's exactly how they built this team, and he fits it to a T.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Lock him up. Why not?
Yeah. Well, and you're in now, so that's your quarterback. That's QB1 for you. No. Me.
I
I don't want
told you.
to. Me. Yeah, that's your quarterback. Get the.
What
Listen.
are
Get
my
the TO meme.
stipulations to get out?
Get the TO meme.
What are my stipulations to
I
get
want to
out?
see. Hold on. I'll explain that in a second. But you got to do the TO face right now. Okay. You have
It's
to
my
do the TO
quarterback.
meme. There it is. I can't believe you did that. That's so freaking good.
I just need
I'm
stipulations to
proud of
be
you.
able to get out. Okay,
All right.
because I'm gonna be
Listen
completely
to me.
honest with you, because I was thinking about this today on the way home. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. I don't want to
Okay.
be in.
Listen to me and listen to me good. Here are the stipulations. All right.
Yeah.
If by some strange chance they pull a 1992, and you know what the 1992 is, and for the kids out there that aren't familiar with the 1992, the Lions went 12-4. They went to the NFC Championship game, and then the next year they fell flat on their face. And it started week one. Some guy named Jim Harbaugh, whatever happened to him, some guy named Jim Harbaugh threw a touchdown like literally on the last play of the game and beat them. And you are literally sitting there going, "This isn't happening again. No way." They still have too much talent. I know they lost two key pieces on their offensive line, but we still got that 75. We still got Lomas. Wait, come on. And then it happened. So if something
So
like
they
that
have to like
happens,
die, basically.
how about not make the playoffs? If there's a step back and they don't make the playoffs, I will open the limo door for you. I will get out of the limo, the Lions limo. I will get out of the Lions limo. I will hold open the door. I will give you like complimentary champagne for being in the limo as long as you were. And then I will say you are free to leave. Is that fair?
Yeah.
You don't sound too enthused
No,
about
because
it.
I know they're gonna win this division.
Well, then how come now I'm confused. Then how come you can't like share in the excitement about that? And the real, because
Because
I
they're
believe
not
it's
gonna win
real.
a Super Bowl. They're just
How
I don't think they're gonna win a Super Bowl. That's
how
just my opinion. I don't think they're better than San Francisco. I don't think that they're better than Kansas City. I don't think
okay.
they're better than the Bengals. I don't think they're better than the Ravens.
All right. Are you saying specifically next year? Or are you saying this window that seemingly is open for a few years?
I think
Are you talking about the window as a
for
whole?
some of those teams it's the window, for some of those teams it's the next year. Like San Francisco, I think will be a better team next year. I have questions about San Francisco going down the line, especially because like none of their receivers actually want to play for them.
Right.
So that's kind of a big question, especially when it's two dudes like Ayuk and Debo.
Right.
But like, okay, so if you're asking me, do I want to believe in Jared Goff or Lamar Jackson in a window?
I get what you're saying. I
Like,
totally get what.
I'm
No,
gonna believe in Joe
dude,
Burrow over
dude,
literally everyone. That's my bias.
I'm with you. I'm with you. But let me also say, this is where I think sometimes the bit with the quarterback goes both ways. I will swear by Dan Marino. Dan
Mhm.
Marino is better than a vast majority of quarterbacks that won a Super Bowl, okay? Dan Marino forever will have a black mark and a tarnish on his name. And I think that's wrong. But that's the way it is. He didn't win a quarterback or he didn't win a Super Bowl.
Mhm.
With that being said, is Jared Goff the type of guy that can win a Super Bowl with that which is around him? Yes, I firmly believe that.
No,
I get your point.
and
I hope you.
I'm not
If I'm
disagreeing with
looking
that.
if I'm looking at quarterbacks, okay, all the guys you named, I take every one of them over Jared Goff. All the guys. Who did you name? Mahomes? Check. Lamar Jackson? Check. Who else did we? Even your boy Brocktober, okay, and
Yeah.
his shaky little legs and all that stuff. All right, he's a guy that shakes off the shakes and finds a way to make a play. Right now, I take those guys, but as we know, we've seen sometimes not the best QB win, right?
Yeah.
And Mahomes doesn't count. Mahomes is just over there. He's in his own little realm right now,
Right
right?
there. It's
And
right
as
behind
much
me.
as I like Joe Burrow, I don't want to make love to him like you do, but as much as I like Joe Burrow is a guy that still hasn't been able to get to that mountaintop. So I trust me. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I get what you're saying. I'll take all those guys over him, every one of them
Mhm.
that we just mentioned. But as we know, the NFL doesn't work that way.
No. No. I mean, I'm just stating my opinion. I don't
Dude,
I don't
I,
think they're going to
I
win a
can't
Super
say
Bowl
you're
next
wrong.
year.
I
Yeah.
would hope people wouldn't say you're wrong.
Yeah,
I would listen.
real quick.
People get mad at me. Listen, can I just say I'm going to get this off my? I still think Matthew Stafford's a better quarterback than Jared Goff. I
Anyone that argues that is insane.
I'm sorry. I feel the exact same way. With that being said, I'd make that trade every single time, especially now considering that Jared Goff has proven himself to be a pretty darn good quarterback,
Yeah.
right? But
No, I
Matthew
agree.
Stafford's better. There's nothing wrong with saying it. It's not a slight against anybody, you know?
No. No, but if you're a true Lions fan, you have to like
I love
hate
that.
Stafford.
You know, I love
So,
that. You
and
know, I love that.
I don't agree with that sentiment
I
whatsoever.
I love that. Well, okay, the Detroit Lions stuff was garbage. I'm sorry, it was garbage, right? I mean, I
You mean
didn't
the
root
Detroit
against
Rams stuff?
or yeah, what did I
Yeah,
say?
yeah.
Yeah,
Detroit Lions. I was like, wait.
no, that Detroit Rams stuff was absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't
No,
like
I
it then.
agree with that
You do
100%.
you. All that crap. I'm sorry. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. Sorry. And best of
I
luck to the guy.
also
He's a really nice guy, but bye-bye.
it's also hard for me because especially in the NFL because of how I've always been, I root for players over teams. I just always have and I always will. I
Okay.
like I root for Joe Burrow. I would not consider myself a Cincinnati Bengals fan. I root for not as much anymore because he just all he does is win. But I root for Patrick Mahomes. I love watching the guy play. I don't I could care less about the Chiefs as a team though. Like
No,
that's
I
just
get it.
it's just how I've always operated. And like Stafford is a guy, especially like just everything about him outside of like the whole Rams trade everything. Like Stafford as a guy I want to root for. I like
Mhm.
him as a person.
I like him too.
So,
I
and
do.
also,
I
I
have no
mean,
problem
let's
saying it.
be frankly honest. I have a bit of bias because of my other employer and everything. So,
Yeah,
you know,
listen. Stafford, we have a history. I think a mostly good history, but going back many years, I like the guy. I like the guy, even for some ups and downs. And when I was covering them a lot, I like the guy. I don't have any problem with the guy. Skydog said Hooker's fan club is royally pissed. I do like Hendon Hooker. Now, did I think that that would eventually be the guy? I didn't think so. I really didn't. I don't mind taking a flyer on a guy at that point in time, though. And this is where I say to people, because this is sometimes I have a problem, and this isn't directed at you, Skydog. Sometimes I have a problem with people like this Hendon Hooker situation. Okay. So I'm not saying that you universally have to, like, every move a guy makes, you have to support, right? Yeah, like Mark D'Antonio. Mark D'Antonio was a hell of a coach. And in that, the era that Spartan fans put up on a pedestal, it was unbelievable. There were some decisions, I think one in particular in 2013, Andrew Maxwell, that drove me out of my mind. And I'm not joking. Like Blake, I say to myself, if Connor Cook had started that game, what if, right? And people are like, oh, what's the matter? You don't like D'Antonio? And it's like, love the guy. But that doesn't, mean that I love him across the board. But to the people that like pontificate about Brad Holmes, and rightfully so. Obviously, he saw something in Hendon Hooker. And I'm a firm believer. I've said this 10,000 times on every show I've ever been on, including with you, Blake. You have to trust your scouting staff to do what they do. And they like this guy, and they selected him for a reason. Now, what's the reason? I don't know, because it doesn't look like he's going to be a starter for the Detroit Lions anytime soon. You know what I mean?
mm-mm.
So.
No, but he might be a great backup, and he's the thing is if he ends up being a very good backup, which I don't think he will be, but I've had my opinions on that already. Like in this league, if your quarterback goes down, you have to have a guy ready. And last year they didn't. I mean, if Jared Goff went down last year, they were dead.
Oh, 100%. But you're in. So you're in. As long as we establish that, you're in.
Yeah, whatever.
No, you can't.
I can do whatever.
Listen, we're going to get Lomas on, because Lomas had a front row seat for all of this, dude.
Also, though, like the people losing their, saying oh, now they can't build because of this contract, whatever. There's two things to that. First of all, it's just what you were just talking about. Do you trust Brad Holmes and his ability to draft quality NFL starters?
Yes, sir.
If you do, then this contract doesn't matter whatsoever. If you don't, then I don't know what you've been watching.
Right.
First of all. Second of all, in next year, he will be like the 8th highest paid quarterback.
The dumbest argument.
He will not. It won't even be a thing. That's just how this works.
Drives me out of my mind. That was the Stafford deal.
Stafford was the highest paid quarterback for what, like 2 weeks?
Exactly. That was so funny. That was so predictable. It was like we were waiting, believe it or not, and I know you know this, we were waiting for Carr to kind of set the market.
Yeah.
And once Carr set the market, then everybody knew that Matthew Stafford was going to be the next one up, and he was going to go like that over Carr. And so what this does, and it works both ways, because the cap is going to keep coming up. Every quarterback that has a contract coming up, they're going to look at Jared Goff's contract and smile. Well, they're going to smile, but the agent's really going to smile, right? I mean, that's what the league is now. Let me get to some comments, because a lot of people have chimed in. We appreciate
our comment section is going nuts tonight.
Ray said, I wish the NFL went the way NBA contracts are done. You earn big money deals by earning awards, all NBA teams, and not just being the next guy up. Goff is getting paid on one good year, and he was next in line. I think this is where you have to, and this is the argument that I had 3 years ago. You have to take into consideration, even when you had that conversation 3 years ago, this is a guy that was unbelievable for a couple years. So you have to look at all of it. To me, it's more than just one good year. This is a guy that is shown when he is protected, he's lethal. When he's not, you know what we get out of it. Nick said, I expected he was getting $50 million per. Lions have a window we haven't had in 30 years, so Holmes is going for it. Tim said most, Barry included, have problems when they first get here because they're the one and a one-man team, so they have no faith in that offensive line. Ray said all these deals the Lions have made, if they don't win, could blow up in their face and be cap hell. I'm not worried about that yet. I'm just –
And there's always outs. There's always outs. Like even this deal, like what is it? It's a 4-year. Like that really means a 2-year.
Yeah.
Like there's an out somewhere in there always is. I'm sure
Well,
there is with Monroe.
The key is the guaranteed money. I mean, that's the key is the guaranteed money. Kevin said the contract is whatever. He was going to get it after last year, but drafting and wasting that third round pick on Hendon is my biggest issue with the whole sequence of events. The third round in 2023 is still puzzling. This is why I'm going to repeat what I said. Brad did it for a reason. I'm with you. It's puzzling. I don't know what the reason is right now, but Brad did it for a reason. Nick said the Goff contract shouldn't even be an issue among people. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I
it's
just
not. It's not. I don't think it should be either. I agree. Like I said, I think it's fair to play devil's advocate and everything, but he 100% earned this deal, and he is a damn good quarterback and fits exactly to a T what Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions want to do.
Tim said 6-10. Tim, are you saying this year or past years? It's 17, but for clarification purposes, are you saying that's what you think is going to happen this year? That the 92 is going to happen? They went 5-11 in 92. Blake, that's your only way out if they make the playoffs. See, here's the thing. They're just going to keep winning, and good times are going to be here, and you're going to come over for barbecues, and you're going to eat until your little heart's content, and then you're going to go, I love the Lions. When is the next time we're having a barbecue at Sean's house?
I don't think that's ever – first of all, I don't think that last part is ever going to happen. I'm sorry.
Did you have a good time?
I'm not going to fake it.
Did you have a good time? Did you have a good time when they beat the Chiefs in week 1? You were here for that.
I don't remember what my money was on. I think I had the Chiefs, so no, I didn't
remember what my money was on. We were all going crazy, and the dog started howling. Remember that? That was
do you remember me just sitting there?
And then taking a bunch of food home. Tim said, do fans know the Lions had overachieved last year? Based on what? That would be my question. Based on what? How did they overachieve?
I mean, they did, like,
Blake, can you answer that?
Preseason expectations for you, me, was to make the playoffs and hopefully win a playoff game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't even think we said division. Like, just make the playoffs.
I did.
Yes.
Okay.
They overachieved. Yeah. But I don't think it was like,
if you say overachieved. Right, exactly. Yeah. If you're saying they overachieved because they won one more playoff game than you thought, okay, I guess we can split hairs. But I thought most people looked at this team as a playoff team. I know I did.
I thought gotten the bye, and then like that would have been like I would say overachieved.
The coach Kirk Hunter said they only have to be better than those teams for one day. Chad said, this is when Holmes shows how good he really is. Can he maintain a top-level team after he signed his core to long-term contracts? Good call. Let me get some. Gordy said, we had 30 years of brutal quarterback play before 9 and 16. Absolutely. Dude, like, seriously, for guys like Gordy and I, right, we saw Gary Danielson. I remember I told you the story. And this was before Lomas was there. So Lomas didn't even know this full story. And do you remember I had a temper tantrum when I went over the story with you?
Yes,
the famous game where Monty Clark is praying. Do you remember? Where he's praying on the sideline. And I told you guys this story, and you guys were laughing so hard because I had a temper tantrum and threw my hat across the room. Yeah. Gary Danielson threw 5 interceptions that game. Their starting quarterback threw 5 freaking interceptions that game. they were still in a position to win that game. Eddie Murray, well within his range. I think it was 43 yards. Somebody can fact check me there. I think it was 43 yards, and he missed it. That's the kind of stuff that we, Witkowski, Landry, Hipple, 8,000-year-old Joe Ferguson, getting past his prime Don Mikowski. It's just over and over. Rusty Hilger. It's just a bad.
That's a real name?
Yes.
Rusty Hilger?
Yes.
What year was that? 1945?
I think he was the 88 offensive MVP. He came over from the Raiders, if I remember, and he was like, that team was so bad. That was the year that I think fans had enough. And subsequently, they drafted this guy named Barry Sanders after that season. But people weren't going to the Dome that year. That was a bad year. That was a bad stretch.
Rusty Hilger, that name just sounds like a World War II hero. It does.
At Iwo Jima, Rusty Hilger led the rush up the hill.
It does, though.
Yeah, a little bit. Darren said, wouldn't get that contract someplace else. David said, Hooker ain't the quarterback if Goff did go down at any point. Tim said the 1992. Yeah, if the 1992 happens, man, I'd be stunned, but I might finally admit to myself that this franchise is accursed. Like, honestly, if that happens, I just.
What would it take for you to get out? That's the real question.
I'd never get out, ever.
Okay, I respect that.
I'm in. I mean,
every
year I would tell the story, the Thanksgiving Day story about Thanksgiving 1980, and when we were on Fox, I'd tell the story every year. The Bears scored on the last play of the game, and then the first play of overtime returned the kick for a touchdown. And my grandpa and my dad are laughing hysterically. And I'm sitting there, tears welled up in my eyes going, what the? So I'm smarter, even at the age of 10, than to walk up to my dad and go, Dad, what's funny about this? Shut up, sit down. So I walked up to my grandpa and I go, what's Grandpa? Why is this funny? And he said to me, you'll understand. Oh, Sean, you'll understand. Right?
Now you understand.
Right? And 44 years later, I saw one playoff win into last year. I mean, that's what so many of us grew up with. So to answer your question, I'll never get out. I've accepted the fact I could never just denounce my fandom and say I'm done. Can't happen, right?
No, I respect that.
Can't happen. But to your point, if they fell flat on their face this next year, I would honestly start to say to myself, the guy who's been screaming, I don't believe in curses, and all you need is the right person to get in place. Look what happened with the Red Wings. Look what happened with the New Jersey Devils. Hi, Lou Lamoriello. Look what happened with the Golden State Warriors. I mean, woebegone franchises that had unbelievable success.
Yeah.
All it takes is to get the right guy in place, and the right guy brings right people in. I would really think to myself that this franchise was cursed. I would. And then I'd cry. I would.
Mind you, I don't think that that's going to happen. Like I said, right. I think they're winning the division. I just don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl.
As Kevin said, December 31st, 1983, missed field goal in San Francisco, brutal. Gary Danielson threw 5 flipping interceptions that day. And they were still in position to win the game. Joe Montana and the San Francisco 49ers, I might add, Blake. Don't talk to me about bad quarterbacks.
Okay.
Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me about bad quarterbacks. Brian said Rusty Hilger, Stoney Case, Gus Farad, Gary Chuck.
Stoney Case was the real name too?
Stoney Case was a real name.
What the hell?
Yeah. Nick said Regner got out. Yeah, Regner says he's Lions free. I can't. I don't know. I couldn't do it. Could you imagine just one day renouncing like a fandom though, Blake? Like one day you just go, I'm not a Michigan fan anymore, right? I mean, no disrespect. You do what you need to do. I couldn't fathom that, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's like the one team. Like, I mean, I'm trying to actively get out of my Lions fandom as we speak,
Can't. You
but I
can't.
can't. You won't let
That's
me.
your fault. No, 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 no. Shh.
I thought I signed a 1 year. You didn't tell me it was a 2 year.
Young man, you always check the fine print. That's a life lesson for you.
Yeah.
Lomas and I put that fine print in there. You're in.
Yeah. Whatever.
You're happy. Tim said the playoffs is when they overachieve. Did the Lions win this past year and will win this year because of Goff or Campbell decisions? I feel the same way about Campbell's decisions as I did then. I think you live by the sword, you die by the sword. There were some decisions that, in retrospect, I think it's easy to do that, but I think the one thing that he does is he shows the utmost confidence in his team, and the team responds to that. And there's a reason why he's so beloved because of that. And I think there's something to be said for that. I really do. And I think it's a big reason why the culture has changed. I can't stress this to you enough. I know you were at the station back then, Blake, but I don't know how often you got a chance to go down there. And you can ask Lomas about it or Steve about it. 18 and 19 was like being at a funeral parlor by like the time November hit. It was it was gross. You just like honestly, you wanted the season over. I hate that feeling. You wanted it over. Like the whole idea. I know I told the story. I remember Lomas and I were walking out. It may have been a few days after Halloween, and we literally looked at each other and we were like, dude, we got 2 more months of this. 2 more months. I think there were like 4 home games remaining, and I mean, like you wanted to get sick. You really did. Jason said, did degenerate gambler Blake lose a bunch of money on the Lions last season? How did the Lions treat you? That's a very good question, Jason. Let's dig a little deeper into some of Blake's antics here
Yeah,
tonight.
go ahead, because I'm going to prove you wrong.
Did the Lions make you some money, or did they hurt you?
I won every single Lions playoff game against the spread.
Did you really?
I had the Rams in the first game. They covered. Then I took the Lions against Tampa Bay. They covered. And then I had San Francisco. So I won every single, either for or against the Lions, every single game. Picked all those games right.
Yeah.
So there goes that theory.
Come into my bosom. It's here. Look, it's open. What do you want? Some pulled pork? What do you want? You get my bosom, and you get
okay. Can we be real? Can we just be real for a second? Like leave the bit alone. I can't fake it. I can't. I just can't. I like the team. I like the way it's constructed. I can't fake fandom. It's something that's too real to me. Like I am a Michigan fan. I live and die by fall college football Saturdays and the maize and blue. That's it.
More on that in a minute.
That's it. But I can't fake rooting for a team that I've never rooted for my entire life.
You don't think that like true love can just spring up? You really don't? You don't, especially since you're without an NFL team? You don't think that true love can just spring up?
I don't know. It's just I've never had that feeling of like I have to have an NFL team. I'm so much happier every Sunday.
Your wife, you met your wife, true love, all that stuff. You don't think you could fall in love with the Lions?
I don't think so. No.
You're in regardless.
No, I know that. For the bit, everything I'm in. Yeah. And I'm going to fight it all season, and it's going to be great. But I just want everyone out there to know, deep down, I'll play along with your little bit, and I'm fine with that. I'm in hunky-dory. Yeah, whatever. Deep down in my heart, I will never be a true Lions fan.
Blake's anger is very underrated, by the way. I just
I just can't do it.
I needed to throw that out there. Can we talk about now? Mike said 2 words that you'll never hear me say.
Yeah,
My
go
buddy
blue, baby.
Mike Cusack. Go in color that rhymes with glue. Mike Cusack. Can I talk to you about what Mike Cusack does in his day job? And I might add, does very, very well. There he is, right there. The guy on the left. Look at those handsome fellas. If you are ready to take charge of your financial future, look no further than the Wealth Advantage Group, located in historic downtown Northville and owned by the Hanson brothers right there. That's Mike on the left, Jeff on the right, with over 20 years of industry experience. They understand that your financial goals are as unique as you are. That's why they offer personalized expert guidance to help you navigate the complexities of financial planning. Now, whether you're saving for retirement, getting ready to sell your company, already in retirement, doesn't matter. They can help guide you through every step of your financial journey. They work with clients throughout all stages of life and have clients in over 20 states. The investment world is a complex one. And if you are ready to start taking your finances more seriously, do yourself a favor and reach out to my buddies right there, the Wealth Advantage Group at 248-773-8574, or view their website at www.thewealthadv.com. Great guys, and they're going to take care of you just the way that they take care of me. And look what Mike said. What a great guy. He goes, I'm calling Legacy this week to have them quote my stuff. Thank you,
yeah.
Mike. And they should reach out to you and talk about financial stuff. You've helped us out. You can help so many people out there out as well. Did I mention they're great guys too? I mean, they're legitimately friends of mine. So
Yes.
give them a call. They'll take care of you.
Real quick, I got fact checked in the chat, and now I'm going through my bets, and this is never good because I'm just scrolling through March Madness.
Are you really? Wait a second. You can save like your bets and stuff
Oh,
like that.
I have every with the app I use, no free ads. I can go through every bet. I know my lifetime losses. Like I know how much financially I've lost in gambling, and I don't want to talk about it. You know what? Let me see.
Yeah.
Okay, keep talking.
Hi,
I'm
Aaron.
looking.
Aaron said, "Good evening, fellas." Eric said, "Please don't say bosom." Well, Blake is in my bosom now. That's just the way it is. He knows where Poppy is. He knows where Poppy is. Ray said it was such a slow news day that ESPN Sportscaster at 6 opened the show with the Goff deal. Interesting.
I mean, it
Ray
is a
said,
huge deal.
yeah. Oh, it is. It's massive. Jason said, does Blake's pants around his ankles love for Joe Burrow take up too much room in his heart, leaving no room for the Lions? That might be a legitimate point.
So good.
That might be Jason. You might have a legitimate point there.
Right? Fact check. You know what? Maybe. You know what? I was wrong. I had San Fran minus 7.5. So.
Oh, did you really?
They covered, yeah. So the Lions did cover that game.
So
I went 2-1.
Mike said Blake needs to come talk to us. Next time we have a barbecue, we'll swing by and say hello. How's that, Mike? Nick said the 17, 18, 19 seasons were so miserable as a season ticket holder, did not want to go after October, couldn't sell without a loss, misery. Now 2 years in a row with sold out season tickets. This is good stress. We have Goff. Nick, honest to God, okay, and I am really serious when I say this. It is a big reason that when my friends ask me, do you want to go to a Lions game? I don't want to go anymore. It really, I'm not being funny. I for years, I say this all the time. You have to remember how I lived my life. Okay. I left early in the morning. I would go do television, whether it be at Chelly's for Fox 2 or on the field with Fox 2. Then I'd have to run upstairs and do a pregame show. Then I'd have to run back over to the bar or run here or run there. And a lot of times I had to run, especially in that era that you speak of, I had to run back to Fox 2 to do like the Sunday wrap-up show, right? It was misery. It was I say this all the time. Sorry for repeating myself. In particular, Thanksgiving, like I was never there for my children. Thanksgiving in their brain was dad gets home at 6:45 and we have turkey dinner. So like those years in particular broke me. I'm not joking. Now, when I say broke me, I'm not saying broke my fandom. Okay. Like I don't care what anybody says. You can't just turn that off. But in regards to like wanting to do that, wanting to go down there, wanting to spend my entire day there, no, didn't want to do it. Sorry. I still don't. Like, honestly, I still don't. Like, Blake, I know I joked with you. I forgot how fun it is to just sit home on an NFL Sunday. Now, don't get me wrong. Like you, I'm a bigger college football fan, but at least with college football, I got a chance to sit at home on a lot of Saturdays. I never had a chance to sit home on a Sunday. Only the Lions bye week did I have a chance to do that.
Yeah.
So I kind of rediscovered my love for doing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's awesome. Like just
Yeah, it
watching
is.
everything. It's awesome.
Chad said 0. Some already are. Yeah. Tim said only time I ever saw the Lions in person was to see the practice sessions in the early 90s at the Dome. That was good enough for me. I used to love going to the Dome. That, like I always say, it was a dump, but it was like our dump. And I was young and dumb, and we could play tackle football on gravel. Somehow we thought that was cool, and we'd rip our arms and legs up tackling each other on the gravel off of Updike and the things you do. Blake, are you excited with some of the college football news? Because I need to say this again, and I would love to get Phil Steele on. I'm gonna reach out to Phil. Phil and I go way back. Like when we were both starting out in the business, we kind of made a pact to help each other.
I didn't know that.
Okay, I'm gonna bore you real quick.
That's not boring me. This is like
All right.
nerd heaven.
When Phil Steele first started, he's based out of the Cleveland area. When Phil Steele first started his magazine, he reached out to me, and I had just gotten my own show. This is like the fall of '96. I'd been at WSPD in Toledo for a year, but by that time I was like the host and everything. And this guy sent me his magazine, and I read this magazine, and I was like, "This is the greatest magazine I've ever read." And so he included his number in there. He goes, if you're interested in talking to me, yeah. I called him. I was like, dude, I don't know you, but like this is the greatest college football magazine I've ever read. And he was like, man, that's really cool. He's like, you want to get on and talk about it? Yeah, absolutely. So Phil and I have helped each other out and stayed in touch for 27 years. Isn't that funny? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good guy. Good guy. We should have got him on last year. I don't know why when we were working together, we never got him on. But Phil, good guy. We follow each other on Twitter, still chat and everything. But one of the cool things about him is when he's doing his homework right now. Like I saw him, he tweeted today, he was like, thanks to PJ Fleck for giving me his time and, talking to me about the Minnesota team. And shout out to Coach Fleck. That's a guy I know a little bit as well. And I get so excited. And then Blake today, although for different reasons, yours were kind of maize and blue reasons. Mine were just college football reasons. To see them announce some of the games already and the primetime games in particular. And in case you missed it, 2 Big Ten football games on NBC. August 31st, that second Saturday, Fresno State at Michigan.
Mhm.
September 7th, Colorado at Nebraska.
Yeah. And
if you don't get a chubby over that, maybe it's not working. Like honestly, maybe it's not working. I got to be on it, right, Blake?
Yeah, I know, I agree. And then the first 3 announced big noon games came out today too, and it's September 7th.
Do you want to share them?
Yeah, I would love to. September 7th, Texas at Michigan, which that game just it makes everything move. I'm so excited for that football game. September 14th, Alabama at Wisconsin, which it might not even be a great game, but Alabama coming north to a Big Ten stadium, that's just awesome, no matter who you are.
Agreed.
And then, of course, November 30th, the game is big noon as well.
Camp Randall is one of the coolest places you'll ever see a game. I have no problem saying that.
It's very high on my bucket list of places.
It's one of the coolest places you'll ever see.
I've heard nothing but good things about their fans. Like
They are the nicest people. No, I can't say at Notre Dame. There's something like it's like Stepford Wives. Everybody's so nice. It's crazy. It really is. They're like it's, and I say that with nothing but respect. But the Wisconsin people are kind of the same way. When you're walking around, they're just the nice people. Would you care for a brat? Things like that. I'm not like it's a great. I would recommend that's a place. And everything you heard about Jump Around is true. Everything you heard about it is true. It shakes your soul, Blake. I'm not joking. It shakes your soul.
That moment, the year after COVID, because that was the first game on Fox Big Noon. And then when they did Jump Around, and it was the best thing that broadcast has ever done, because they all just shut their mics off and they just did Jump Around. And it, like, still to this day, it gives me chills watching that video. It was awesome.
It was.
By the way, I'm getting eviscerated in the chat right now.
For what?
For my love of Joe Burrow. Can I explain that to people? It's not like.
Go ahead.
2019 LSU.
I wish we had some sexy music to play, but go ahead.
2019 LSU is my love. That's where it all started. 2019 LSU was by far, it's even close to this last year of the Michigan team. I loved that team. Like, I loved watching all of their games. They put up 48 points a game. They were, in my opinion, the greatest college football team of all time. We have disagreements about that, but that's fine. I love that team. Okay. Okay. Can we agree best offense in college football history? Okay.
Go on. You know what I'm going to say. I'm going to let you finish, and then you know what I'm going to say.
That's where it all started. It started with 2019 LSU. Then he goes number 1 overall. His Heisman speech. I've watched his Heisman speech a million times. Makes me cry every time when he goes to Coach O, and he gets emotional. I love it so much. I love that man, Coach O as well. And then obviously his run with the Bengals, everything. I love the way the dude plays. He's cocky as hell, but it's like not in a demeaning way. He's just very confident in himself. And I like the way he plays the game. He's fun to watch. So that's my love for Joe Burrow.
So you know where I'm going. Are you ready?
What's up?
I'm going to do it. I will until the day I die, or somebody can shut me up. The 1995 Nebraska Cornhuskers were the best I ever saw. Are you ready? I'm gonna go over their schedule. Okay. Week 1 at Oklahoma State, they won 64-21. Week 2 at Michigan State, they won 50-10. Week 3 at home against Arizona State, they won 77-28. Are you keeping track? 50's their low point right now. 50. Oh, we got a new low point. Are you ready? They beat Pacific because they stopped playing 49-7. They beat Washington State 35-21. They beat Missouri 57-0. They beat number 8 Kansas State 49-25. They beat number 7 Colorado 44-21. They put a 73 spot up on Iowa State. They put a 41-3 win over number 10 Kansas, 37-0 over Oklahoma, and in the national championship game they put up 62 points on Steve Spurrier and the Gators, 62-24. That's a great. I'm not arguing with the greatness of that team. That was an offensive juggernaut. That Cornhusker team was like a steamroller. They were unbelievable. And to your credit, you can't, like, I'm the same way. If somebody said, it was the 72 Huskers or whatever, I never saw them, so I can't speak to them. You know what I mean? No. I didn't see them. So in my lifetime, that team was disgusting. They just disassembled people.
So I was listening to the Cover 3 podcast the other day. I love that show. And they did, obviously this is the first year of the 12-team playoff. So they did a 12-team playoff of the last 12 college football national champions. Obviously, it was just great for me because it was just them talking about 2019 LSU for like 20 minutes. Because I mean, I think in the last
2019 LSU or 2023 Michigan, Blake.
2019 LSU,
Oh,
that's who would win that game.
you have objectivity. I can't believe it.
Yeah, 2019 LSU. I think like I said, I think that they're the best college football team of all time, and 100% in my lifetime. But yeah, no, they put up 48 points a game. They beat a Clemson team that had won 25 straight games by 30 points. Smoked them. They beat that Oklahoma team by like what, 40?
Ray said, Blake talking about Burrow reminds me of your love for Larry Robinson back in the day. Oh, I still love Larry. I'll love Larry to the day I die. He said, Miami is the best college team I ever saw. Just look at those first round picks, starters, and who was on the bench. That was a great team. It really was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great, I no problem taking 95 Nebraska. They were just a
What
steamroller.
about 19 LSU over that team? I love this, by the way.
Man, that's a good one. I think, going back, I think Nebraska and LSU would have been a like 63-56 game or something like
banger,
that.
Yeah.
I think they just steamrolled you. That Nebraska team just steamrolled you. That'd be a damn good one. That 01 team. That was a great.
So, but everyone
Tim
says
said 19 LSU or 97 Michigan. I hope Michigan fans. Yeah, I hope Michigan fans don't get mad at this. I wouldn't put that championship team, and I call them a championship team because the share was a joke. Can we all acknowledge it? I wouldn't put that in a category of all-time greats. They were a team that found a way to win. And there's nothing wrong with that. And they won a national championship because of it. But I wouldn't, Blake, I wouldn't put that in an all-time great category. And I know somebody's going to accuse me of my Sparty showing and all that stuff. But if you look at their schedule, they had a lot of tight games. They just found a way to win. They had that it factor. You know what I mean? I wouldn't call them one of the greats. I'd call them a national champion, and that's all that matters. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I mean, that's all that matters. And I know you don't have like any memory of that, but I wouldn't and I hope Michigan fans, you guys don't take disrespect at that. A natty's a natty. And it should be a full natty, by the way. We all know that.
Okay, but the argument I always hear for 01 Miami versus 19 LSU, everyone's like the draft picks. Like, you do realize that team had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Derek Stingley, Patrick Queen. Like, those are all like Pro Bowl players. That team was disgusting. You have two of the 5 best receivers in the NFL.
So let me throw this out there because Ray said this. Nebraska teams, when they never played any great teams. Maybe you didn't hear their schedule. I have no problem rolling over it again. Ready? Oklahoma State 64-21, Michigan State 50-10, Arizona State 77-28, Washington State 35-21, Missouri 57-0, number 8 Kansas State 49-25, number 7 Colorado 44-21, Iowa State 73-14, number 10 Kansas 41-3, Oklahoma 37-0, Steve Spurrier and the Florida Gators 62-24.
The team was filthy. I'm not arguing.
That's not a soft schedule.
No,
that's not a soft schedule. You know. Oh, Tigers ahead in the 8th, right? Oh, good. Oh, Torque just hit another. Oh, here he comes.
Torque bombs, baby.
Here he comes.
Get the social posts ready. Todd, get them ready. Roll them.
Chad said, I'm pissed that they split the championship because of Osborne got the farewell votes. Absolutely, they did. Absolutely, they did. Come on, if you're being honest with yourself, Michigan was number 1 in the nation. They went out to the Rose Bowl. They beat Ryan Leaf in Washington State. That should have carried, no doubt about it. But Nebraska went out and beat Peyton Manning, and there are some people, especially because Osborne was leaving, that wanted to give him a farewell present. That's what it was. That's exactly what it was. Michigan should have been the national championship that year.
Old people
Sorry,
are dumb.
it's the way it is. People are dumb, right? Old people especially. Joe Burrow, the same guy who had to transfer from Ohio State because he couldn't beat out its quarterbacks. Isn't that amazing how that works itself out?
It's another coaching failure by Ryan Day.
Oh boy, everybody walked right into that one, right?
I mean, that's easy. It's a
Everybody,
fact too. So
everybody walked right into that one. Can I tell you about our friends at Legacy? Really appreciate those guys. They're actually coming over to my house in a couple weeks. And did you know that thousands of Metro Detroiters, just like you, have already called Legacy Partners to get help with their home and auto insurance? Our friends at Legacy are one of Southeast Michigan's top independent insurance agents and provide a full-service, one-stop solution for all of your insurance needs, personal and business, large and small. They can help you the way that they've helped so many people, and they're going to help me. They're coming over to my house. I practice what I preach. You can help us out. Most importantly, help yourself out and your family out by making that phone call. Now, what's the difference? Well, Legacy goes in and fixes the mistakes other agents have made. They ask the right questions to get the right coverage put in place to properly protect you. And yeah, it's about saving you money as well. Chances are, if you haven't checked your policies in the last year, you're probably paying too much and you could be underinsured. What are you waiting for? Give these guys a call, get your quote, give them a chance to help with your home, your cars, life insurance, Medicare enrollment, or just your business insurance needs. Give them a call today. 586-209-4106 or visit legacypartnersins.com to get started with your new quotes. I still haven't seen the official word yet, Blake, but and I should have asked somebody last night. I had to do Lansing TV last night. My buddy Jack Ebling, love him, one of the best in the business. I haven't seen the official confirmation yet that they're moving the Michigan State Florida Atlantic game to Friday night. That's been a pretty cool tradition for a few years now at Michigan State is moving that Saturday game to Friday night. And I hope they do, because getting a chance to go up there and see that game, especially with my daughter, I mean, pretty stinking cool. But dude, I know, like you and like me, there are a lot of people out there that, man, I start to see this stuff pop up on Twitter, and honestly, it just puts a smile on your face, man. It really does.
it's the best. I get so excited. And the game's coming out. Like, I think they're doing a release video of the video game like in the next couple days, which I'm very excited about that. And maybe we can get Uncle Sean on the sticks, play a game of NCAA football.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm in. Count me in.
I'll bring over the PS5. We'll get it fired up. That'd be great.
I think we have one here. I think we have the 4.
You have the old, yeah. I got the 5. We'll bring the 5 over.
Ray said, it is crazy that you guys made the whole show and didn't mention how the Pistons got screwed for the second straight year and picking 5th again, despite having.
We just mentioned it.
Can I say this though? Like, my opinion on it doesn't change regardless of who the team is. Like, and I've said the opinion so many times, like, it is just a stupid way to do it. Yeah. I'm sorry. I said it in the NHL last week. I've said it years gone by. I don't care if it works for you, if it works against you. I think it's a woefully stupid way to do it. I do. I'm sorry. If they think that that's stopping from a team tanking, no. Teams are going to take that chance, and at worst say, well, at least we pick 5th or 3rd or 4th or whatever the case may be. It's depressing, like, how woebegone the Pistons are, and boy, I think we might be starting yet another new era and everything. But like, for me, Ray, my mindset doesn't change. I think draft lotteries are just woeful, awful, terrible.
And did the Pistons really get screwed? Because there's like no one that anybody wants in this draft.
That's what I hear.
That's what everyone keeps telling me, is like, this draft is just utter dog water. So
yeah,
I don't think it really matters.
It's
Save your luck for later, Isn't that how it works?
Yeah. Tim, as we brought up earlier, Tim's reiterating, said Michigan Fresno is a night game as well. Absolutely. We brought it up. The 2 Big Ten football games announced on NBC, 7:30 kickoffs. The second Saturday of the year. Don't forget there is a week 0 still, and I love week 0. Blake, you and I both love week 0. August 31st, Fresno at Michigan. That is a 7:30 start, and then September 7th, Colorado and Nebraska. So
I'll hang a banner. It's gonna be great. How we've talked enough though about like how excited I am about my team and how happy I am. Like, how are you feeling about Michigan State this year?
I understand what it is. I do.
But
I mean,
what do you like? Bowl team?
in a perfect world, I would love for them to get to that level and
Okay.
be a bowl game. It might be a stretch. There's a lot of bad that has to be undone. I love Jonathan Smith, and I think you do too.
He's a very good coach.
I love Jonathan Smith, and I think he's going to get it going. There's just, I mean, there's a lot of damage that needs to be unwrought. How's that? And I think minds that need to be righted. And I think, let's just put it this way. I don't think a lot of people are crying at some of the people that are transferring. How's that? Does that make sense? I don't
100%.
think, yeah, I don't think.
I don't think even like most people know. I mean, because I know because of the people I know.
Yeah.
It was bad. Like, things were not great. And I'll just leave that at that.
No. I love, was that Todd? Unfortunately, due to programming conflicts, we had to cancel our NBA mock draft show.
That would be great.
Todd, way to go, you smartass. I'd love to hear that. Ray said, with USC Washington coming to the Big Ten, how long before they take over the conference? Whoa.
Or Oregon. It's neither of them. It's Oregon.
That's who I worry about. I'm with you there.
You should be everyone.
I'm sorry.
Should be terrified of that team.
I'm so tired of the USC talk. I know you've heard it 1,000 times, and so I have been making fun of USC for 10 years. Sorry. On any given year, you can see a top 25 come out in August, and I love to play a game where you say, who's the most overrated team, okay? And without even looking at it, more often than not, I can go USC.
But last year, it was Texas A&M.
It was A&M, yeah, by a mile.
But they're the other option. It's Texas A&M, it's USC, or it's Miami. It's one of the three.
Yeah. All right, is there anything else I have to talk about Lindsey Broadwell before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Boy, we went tonight, didn't we? Dude, I didn't even know, right?
It's because we missed each other. By the way,
I think I really do. I think as much as you like to pretend like you don't like me, I think you do like me.
Sean,
I do.
Genuinely consider you one of my best friends. So I don't know where that's not one of your best bits. You have some really good bits, but that's not one of them.
I'm going to be mean to Sean.
I said in the text I was going to be nice tonight.
See? Now I know you're lying and you're being fake.
I did say that. And have I not been nice?
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Jesus.
Tim said like PSU and Nebraska were supposed to be the Penn State stuff. Tim, you are so right. Especially the way Penn State came in the first year. Their fans were so cocky. So I immediately hated Penn State. Immediately. Oh, Blake, if you should have seen it. We're going to run this conference like when we're done. We're a national power.
There's a lot of things that are highly inappropriate that I could say right now, and I'm just going to keep them to myself. And you're going to talk about Lindsey Broadwell. When
it comes time to buying, selling, sometimes both, you need to contact the right agent. Who would I suggest? There she is, Lindsey Broadwell. Your house is probably the biggest investment you'll ever make, and that's why you need a pro. Lindsay grew up on the mean streets of Northville and has expanded her team all over Southeast Michigan. She's an expert in all facets of the business. And when it's time to move, our friend Lindsay and her team will make sure you get the most out of your house and that everything goes smoothly when finding your new home. Buyers, sellers, first-time buyers, doesn't matter. Make sure you reach out to Lindsay at BroadwellHomes.com. She'll help you with everything from start to close. Licensed realtor at Real Broker LLC. Start your search today at BroadwellHomes.com. Tigers win. Nice to see that. Chad
just
said
gonna
Penn
say,
State
I
wouldn't
didn't
play
see it
any
in
of the
the
top
chat.
teams away for 2 or 3 years, and they wouldn't join the conference. It was fraudulent. Sorry. I'm so glad they got exposed. I'll leave it at that. Honestly, I'm so glad that they got exposed. Just anyway. So Blake, tomorrow we're doing another like watch party thing.
Yeah.
And it was Blake's idea to like after the second period concludes, start in the second intermission, we all watch the third period together. Now, are you coming over? You know, you're more than welcome to come over.
I don't know yet.
Okay, cool. Well, I got to go take a whiz, so we're going to get out of here. We'll see you tomorrow night after the second period.
Yes.
Is that cool?
Looking forward to it.
All right, thanks, buddy. Bye. Bye. No, really.
Off the Air with Sean Baligian, featuring Sean Baligian and Blake Majchrzak. Produced by Todd Losey and Blake Majchrzak. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Play It Loud by Jam Studio. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the unsyndicated podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Off the Air with Sean Baligian on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.